Hey everybody, my name is Kaylee Holtzapfel. I'm back today with another dream to share with you guys and some awesome revelation and insight as to what the Father showed me today. So, I told you yesterday I was going to tell you guys about a dream that I received about the Vatican. I'm going to do that, and I got some heavy stuff to deliver along with it. So, with that being said, if you are Catholic, you are probably not going to like this video. So, I'm just going to preface it with that. If you don't want to watch this video, you don't have to watch this video. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, on August 24th, 8/24, I received this dream, and I called it Vatican Catacombs and Hitler. I had no idea what it meant at the time, but I knew when I dreamt it that it meant something big. And I remember talking to my parents about it, asking to see if they had received anything similar to it, because I knew when I received it that it was from the Lord and that it was very important information. So, it says, last night I dreamt that I was under the Vatican, I believe in the catacombs. I was searching around because I knew that they were hiding stuff. I went into this cave-like thing and I saw a giant skull head. It scared me when I first saw it, and I think I knew it was a Nephilim skull. Then I was around all of these Nazis. They were shooting, and they were walking on a catwalk where the catacombs were. I tried to remain calm, and a man who looked like Hitler gave me his gun, and I put it in my bag because I thought that Hitler's original gun would be valuable. When I took it out, it was a Nikon D70, but it looked really vintage and old-fashioned. It looked new and high-tech, but it looked old-fashioned and dated at the same time. So, we all know that mystery surrounding what has been held under the Vatican has just been a mystery for a long time. People have wondered about it, rumors, speculations have surfaced around with it. So I did some research today. I prayed today and I asked the Lord, Lord, you gave me a confirmation that I need to read this dream 2 days ago. And I told you guys in my last video I was going to talk about it. So yeah, here's the video for that. But I talked to him today and I said, Lord, you gave me a confirmation letting me know that you wanted me to read this dream. I've been holding on to it for like 2 months now. So, please just give me revelation or give me some kind of information that I need to speak along with this dream, so that I can eloquently deliver it to you guys. I want to make sure that I have my research. I want to make sure that I have my background and everything is scripturally, sound as much as it can be. So yeah, I just prayed for that today. And I got in the shower, and as soon as I got out, he told me, Google what's under the Vatican. And I did some research, and there's no way that I would know these things, first of all, before I even tell you about it. There's no way that I would know anything about this. I knew a couple people that I'm going to read to you guys here in a second, but I had no idea about any of this information. So how would I possibly know what any of this is? Okay, so we know that there's a vault under the Vatican, and it contains documents and really important information, right? Well, that is called the Architum Secretum. It means private or personal archives. And it's made up by private letters of past popes, as well as documents to said popes by influential individuals. It contains 50 miles of shelving and documents dating back to the 8th century. It contains a 197-foot scroll containing the minutes of the trials to the Knights Templar. If you know anything about the Knights Templar, you know that they were an early formation of, what we call the Illuminati today. It also has documents from the reign of Pope Pius XI from 1922 to 1939. The Pope, quote, made deals with Mussolini to protect the Church's interest in exchange for silence on state-sponsored anti-Semitism, a conclusion at odds with the Church's account. Some say Pius XI supported Hitler, even in a manner similar to Mussolini, or even more substantially. So in my dream, like I said, I was walking around in the Vatican Catacombs, and there was a catwalk, and there were Nazis, and Hitler gave me his gun. I put it in my bag, and then when I pulled it out, it was a camera. So, something is going to be found under the Vatican. Something substantial, something giant, something monumental that is going to change everything that we know. It's going to be found under the Vatican. I was given three things. I was given a giant skull, and what I perceived to be a Nephilim skull. I was given a Nazi gun from Hitler, and I was given a camera. Those were the three items that were of importance to me, that were, significant in my dream. So, in addition to that, there is something else that is supposed to be hidden under the Vatican called a chronovisor. I don't even know what this is. I've never heard of this before at all, but the Lord led it to me to, do some research about it, and here's what I got. A chronovisor is a time machine that takes pictures from the past. It was led and built by Father Pellegrino Ernetti, an Italian priest and scientist, using components whose origins are extraterrestrial. He worked with 12 other scientists, and it was created in 1956. It was started from light and sound waves, and after their emission, the sound waves are not destroyed, but they're transformed into continuous presentations. Nothing is lost, but the events are simply viewed. That's the premise of what is called the chronovisor. It began in 1952. It was created in 1956, but the experiment began in 1952. September 15th, 1952, in an electroacoustic laboratory in the Catholic University of Milan, where Pellegrino Ernetti studied. While listening to symphonic music, he began hearing a voice in the background. So 12 scientists began to work with Father Ernetti when he was developing the chronovisor, 2 of which of the scientists' names have been identified. 10 of the 12 were kept anonymous, but 2 have been identified: Enrico Fermi and Werner von Braun. So, this not only is substantial because it dates back to the camera. It ties in with the camera that I saw. The camera was old-fashioned, but it was new. It was futuristic technology. It looked like a Nikon D70. So for you photographers out there, you know what a Nikon D70 looks like. It's a DSLR. But it was old-fashioned at the same time. And I specifically got Nikon D70. I saw it on the body of the camera. So, what do those things mean? Well, let's check it out. So, the definition of Nikon. Nikon means sunlight. We know that the worshippers of the sun being another name for Lucifer, or the morning star. 70 in Greek means agrypnia, which means sleeplessness or watching. So let's go back to what it said about the chronovisor. What did it say? It said that the images are transformed into continuous presentations. Nothing is lost. The events are simply viewed. They're simply watched. And 70 in Greek means sleeplessness and watching. So I find that extremely crazy. Well, it goes deeper than that. So, Werner von Braun was one of 2 of the scientists that were mentioned. Who is Werner von Braun? Well, for some of you flat earthers out there, for some of you conspiracy theorists out there, you might know who Werner von Braun is. Werner von Braun was an SS major, nicknamed Mr. NASA. He's the creator of NASA. He's the creator of it. So he was an ex-Nazi German aerospace engineer and space architect. He was the leading figure in the development of rocket technology in Germany and the father of rocket technology and space science in the United States. He moved right after the Nuremberg trials. Him, and along with around 800 to 900 other Nazi officials, were shipped from Germany to America, and they were put into government positions in every single aspect of everything. They were put into science, they were put into arts, they were put into television. Walt Disney was a Nazi. I don't know if you guys know that, but he worked hand in hand with Werner von Braun to, put stuff into his movies and into his shows to subliminally program the masses without them even being aware of what he was doing. Also, Henry Ford was a Nazi as well. He had ties with Hitler as well, but I digress. So anyway, he was an SS major in Nazi Germany from 1937 to 1945, and he worked alongside of Pellegrino Ernetti, the creator of the chronovisor. So, I find it extremely crazy that he was one of the workers on this chronovisor technology, and he was the father of NASA. Because we do not live on a spinning globe. The globe model is a deception, and I know I'm going to get some flack for this. I am a flat earther, and I'm wearing this shirt for a reason. This is the true model of the earth. We live on a flat plane encompassed by a firmament. There are waters above the heavens and waters below the earth. The earth sits on 7 land masses or continents, as it is called. We have Sheol at the bottom. We have earth as we know it. The stars above us, encompassed by a crystal dome. And then we have the heavens above us. We have the water below, or above and below. That is the true model of the earth. They knew it back in the day. This is the ancient Hebrew cosmology model. And it wasn't until NASA was formed. I mean, previously, like the globe, like because of Galileo and stuff like that, like the globe model was, brought into the realm of viewing, I guess. But NASA is the big company that, everybody's like, well, NASA has pictures, NASA has, space documents. Well, Wernher von Braun was one of the creators of that. And it's interesting because if you look up Wernher von Braun and you look up his tombstone that's here in the United States, what does he have written on it? He has Psalms 19:1. What's Psalms 19:1? It's the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Just think about that for a second. Why would he have a Bible verse talking about the firmament if he was head of NASA, which specifically states there is no firmament, and that we're a spinning ball of like, what, 1,100 miles an hour, 1,400 miles an hour, something crazy like that? Okay, so that's interesting. That's extremely interesting. So you need to keep this in mind because something big is about to be unveiled. Something is going to be found that's been concealed in the Vatican, whether that is in regards to extraterrestrial skulls or Nephilim skulls, angel skulls, whether it's some kind of tie with Hitler, or whether it's this chronovisor technology, which also dates back, to Hitler. I find it extremely interesting, guys. Extremely, extremely interesting, and I think we need to be on the lookout because I think it's going to be soon. I've been holding on to this dream for 2 months now, and like I said, it was given a confirmation to me 2 days ago that something's about to be unveiled. Not only that, but my father was given, a similar message that something was going to be found having to do with the Vatican. The Vatican is not a good organization, and I tread lightly on this information because I know that I have some Catholic friends. It is not what we think it is, guys. I'm going to go out on a limb here and tell you guys a little bit of information that you might not know about the Vatican. The shape of the Vatican is a giant snake, guys. The shape of the Vatican, if you go to Google Images or go to Google Earth, look at it from a 45-degree angle. The shape of the building of the Vatican is a pregnant snake wearing a crown on its head. What does basilica mean? Do we know that St. Peter's Basilica is inside the Vatican? It's the largest altar in the world. It's a giant dead sheep. If you can find images on it, and if you have the ability to see, my eyes are one of my spiritual gifts. If you have the ability to perceive it and see it, it's a giant dead sheep. What does basilica mean? Basilica means royal abode of the basilisk. What is a basilisk? It's a legendary serpent that kills with a look or with a breath. Why would that be anything having to do with something that calls itself a Christian organization? Because it's not a Christian organization. It's the absence of a Christian organization. The Pope is a mouthpiece for the devil himself. And I know that this is going to bother some of you guys. I know that you're not going to like what I'm saying, but that doesn't make it not true, Moreover, you can go on YouTube and you can type in the Cantor, which is the official singer for the Vatican. There's a video of the Cantor actually officially singing in Latin to Lucifer himself. So why would you have someone singing to Lucifer in the Basilica, which is the belly of the pregnant snake inside the Vatican? The cobblestone streeting, when you walk into, the little, I've never been to the Vatican, but, like the courtyard area, it's serpent skin, or it's modeled to mimic serpent skin. It's black cobblestone brick. You can go check it out. I mean, you don't have to take my word for it. Go and look at it from a bird's eye perspective. The courtyard is an upside down cross. The shape of the head of the serpent is the upside down cross, and then the courtyard is a right side up cross. And not only is it that, but it's also a key. And that's a video for another day. And if you guys are interested in that, I can talk more about that too, or I can lead you to people who can explain it far better than I can. But you need to be aware that the Pope is not a good man. We are seeing that all of this sexual assault allegations and pedophilia allegations, they're all coming to a head. They're all coming to light. People have known that the Catholic Church has been molesting children, and I would go as far to say sacrificing children for a very long time. And this is a very, it's a rough subject to talk about, and people don't want to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it. The Catholic Church is evil, and it's not good, and you need to come out of her. You're doing virgin worship. You should never pray to Mary. You need to pray to Jesus. He is the way, the truth, and the life. Okay? He is the great I am. You can't go to heaven praying to Mary. You just pray to Jesus himself. You're partaking in idol worship, and you need to come out of it. But regardless of how you feel about the Vatican, I do believe that something is going to be found under the Vatican, whether that's in regards to Nephilim, whether that's in regards to their ties with World War II Nazi Germany and covering up anti-Semitism, or Semitism, sorry, or whether that is in relationship to this chronovisor technology. So I guess we'll just have to stay tuned and see what comes of it. But yeah, I guess we'll only see. Time will only tell. So I love each and every one of you, and in Jesus' name, I hope you have a great day.